According to a research conducted by Eric Hanushek and Roger Waberman on the role of quality education on an economy, the expansion of schools does not guarantee improved economic conditions. But with 7 tertiary institutions spread across Delta State, the government says it has established an educational system with a direct bearing on its economy. The Delta State University is the state's main university. Established in 2002 with 11 faculties, 94 academic departments and 30,000 students, the university has its main campus located in a town known as Abraka and other annex campuses established in different parts of the state. The number of educational facilities are not only positioned to accommodate all aspiring to acquire a university education, but to increase access to these universities and save travel on time. Above all, the Commissioner for Higher Learning says the true purpose for setting up the university must be achieved.
The purpose, of course, is to produce manpower, primarily to create an avenue for education for the young minds which you have in the state. Of course, it's not limited to persons from the state. We have persons from different backgrounds coming into Delta State for education. The idea is, as much as possible, we want all Deltans who aspire to the benefits of Western education at the tertiary level to have easy access. We've been able to meet the carrying capacity prescribed by the NUC and by the NBT, and we're doing that. We're training manpower both for the state and for outside the state.
Infrastructure development is currently ongoing at the main university and its sister campuses, while more lecture theatres and examination halls are still being built to accommodate more students. An increase in the number of applicants, the ministry says, is a clear indication of the appreciation and hunger for education by youths in the state.
When you have 52,000 students, where over 90% of them are Deltans, it's a clear indication that every household in Delta State is very interested in education. And when you interact with our students, you can tell from their contribution that they cherish education and they know that with education they can liberate themselves from the shackles of poverty.
The institutions of higher learning in Delta State currently run a national curriculum. The Commissioner hints the sector has plans to introduce disciplines that will help develop the manpower needed in various sectors in Delta State.
We have enough programs, academic programs in the university, the polytechnics and the colleges of education to produce manpower for the different sectors to meet the challenges of Delta beyond oil. All right? That is because we have a variety of academic programs which are based on the established curriculum programs that we have inherited from the federal level. We have also tried to tinker with some of these in terms of details, how these can be relevant to our own environment. But in doing so, as I said, we are very conscious of the fact that we run a country, we're in one country, we run a program that has to be accredited by the appropriate bodies at all times. The NUC, for instance, must come to accredit a program that you're doing and ensure that it complies with the national standards. So we have all of that at the back of our minds as we do what we do here.
To ensure these undergraduates are marketable to the private sector after graduation, the institution is set to introduce the compulsory use of ICT in the learning process and assessment of students across its campuses. With a vibrant research committee founded by the state government and funded by the Education Tax Fund, these institutions provide huge opportunities for investors. An entrepreneurial center has also been established in all campuses to entrench entrepreneurial skills to enable these graduates recognize the potentials within and set their business ideas in motion rather than join the unending queue of unemployed graduates in Nigeria's labor market. Like the secondary schools, the government offers scholarship to undergraduates with a 3.50 CGPA and has a bursary scheme which provides a sum of 20,000 naira to students from the state with a CGPA of 2.20, all in the bid to encourage and spur them on towards acquiring education. A Delta State University is not the only higher institution of learning in the state. In most parts of Nigeria, the polytechnics are not considered or given due recognition as institutions of higher learning. This status is fast becoming a thing of the past in Delta State, judging by the level of attention these institutions currently enjoy. The Polytechnic at Ogwashuku is one of such institutions poised for a complete overhaul in terms of physical infrastructure. While some structures are yet to emerge, the institution currently runs on well-equipped departments created to promote learning.
Everything we do here is for skilled labor. We are training our students not to be dependent on employers of labor. We are training our students to be self-surviving, to be self-employable, and to be able to be employers of labor. And we are not just producing students and telling them, go out, go and look for a job. We are training them to learn how to survive with or without government employment or industrial employment. They should be able to start their own. With our mini industries in focus, our students are being well prepared because everything we teach them in the class, they practice them here before they leave. And that makes a difference.
Here at the Faculty of Engineering is a workshop fully equipped for the fabrication of tools needed by both institutions and industries. The Department for Fabrication boasts of a welding machine and a car wash machine fabricated by its students. Here, training is more direct. The students have one-on-one contact with state-of-the-art equipment and a more conducive environment for learning. Engineer Paul Okonji, the head of the Welding and Fabrication Department, tells us more about his workroom.
This is a typical welding booth, all right? Here the students stands right in front of this table. This is a welding table. This is what we call positioner to hold the material he's working with so that it doesn't shake. Then there is a welding machine. There is another welding machine per booth. So he stays here to do his fabrication work, do the welding work. The purpose, like the dean explained, of using this is a shield. And then you can see, because of the sparks and all, it is, nobody enters here. And anybody who enters here must wear his welding goggles to protect the eyes, and then the welding helmet to work here. So the material is joined here, and then whatever it is, you will bring it out here on that kind of table and do your assembly. These machines you see here, they are specialized machines. As you can see, there is one carrying, you see these ones carrying cylinders. These cylinders carry the gas we call argon. Argon gas is a non-reacting gas. So these machines are for specialized welding to produce like stainless steel, all those metals that will ordinarily be corroded by atmospheric condition.
The students is to work on anything. I mean, how many students per machine?
One student per machine and an instructor, somebody to help and supervise or give advice.
Establishing this department, the rector says, has a far-reaching effect on the students, the state's economy, but more especially the university's immediate community of Ogwashuku, where farming is the major occupation. The department is capable of fabricating wheelbarrows to transport agricultural produce from the farms and machines to help process the produce. The school administration believes with proper investment, these machines can be mass-produced and made available to the farmers at a cheaper rate to promote commercial agriculture, a main sector through which the government hopes to diversify its economy.
So we have farm there in progress now. And if you look around us here, we have bamboo trees, which is a major resource for producing toothpick. And it is our dream too that with the farm, we are going to harvest them and use them to produce toothpicks, cups, of rare design, especially as we have arts and design departments. If you go to Asian countries, you see what they do with toothpicks, and they are all from bamboo trees. And in this community, they don't they are not cued into the use of bamboo trees. To them, it's just something you cut and throw away. This very school have known that, yes, so we have a God-given resource here, which we can put into use. So within time now, we may not even think of oil. Because when we start producing all these things, oil can just be secondary.
Determined to ensure the students are up to date with international standards, the Mechanical Engineering Workshop has gone digital, acquiring a computer numerical control lathe machine for digital fabrication.
The operations are basically the same with the manual one, but the difference is that you don't have to move the slides manually. So all you need to do, you get your design of whatever you want to produce. You have the component, you now convert the design to language. You now program it here. So we have codes for programming the machine. So you convert it to the code, the machine will now produce exactly what you have designed without you having to move the different slides. It will be moving at its own pace based on the program you've imputed there.
Celestina Onwamaludike is a student of mechanical engineering. She believes it's a department that should be dominated by women. According to her, mechanical engineering is not as difficult as it looks. Her passion for this branch of engineering, further encouraged by a well-equipped department, makes her dream of becoming an engineer a reality in a not-too-distant future.
Actually, it's not mainly for boys, because mechanical engineering is just being creative in the society. It makes you to bring ideas, bring things that has not been in existence. You can create, manufacture for the society to make use of.
For lovers of the art, the school's arts department holds its own promises of talented artists and sculptors positioned to drive that industry. The Delta State government, determined to ensure every sector is powered through education, a department for petrochemical engineering is up and running to produce employable graduates in the oil and gas sector and maximize the potential in that industry, which observers say is currently underutilized.
Beyond attaining a degree or skill, the direct impact of education is already being felt on this economy, with innovations coming from these institutions, an opportunity for investors to tap into these potential and invest in a sector positioned to do more.